you always wanted to play some cool rock songs on the guitar and thought they were out of your reach? In this video, I'll show you 3 of my favorite rock songs for beginners and just how good you can sound with just a few easy open chords, some interesting strum patterns, and a very cool sounding lick. Welcome back to Relax Learn Guitar. I'm Kevin and this is Maggie May, fitting in 2 treats. It's really 1 today. My wife Vicky's behind the camera.
Hello.
Let's get started. First up, we've got a little Bad Moon Rising from Creedence Clearwater Revival. I don't know how much cooler you can get for some rock and roll with CCR, and this one's great for beginners. We've got 3 chords. We have a D chord. We have an A chord. And you'll see me play that one with my index finger barring those 3 strings. And a G chord.
It's a great song.
It is. I always like teaching this one too because I feel like you can learn it and sound pretty good pretty fast. Now we're going to break down this intro. Once you get the intro, you're well on your way because it really applies to the rest of the song. So we have the a little bit of pep. It's not a slow song, but it's a really fun one to play. So we're going to kind of talk about these different patterns for each of these chords. We're going to start on a D, and the first thing you're going to do is 2 down strums, followed by a very fast up down. So you have... And what's helpful at the end of this pattern is to just rest your hand onto your strings to keep the strings from ringing out so you can mute. Yeah, it goes from this to this. And that little stop sets us up for the next part, which is going to be this A chord with 2 down strums. And again, mute the strings when you're finished with that. Then a G for 2 down strums. And then back to a D chord for this bass down, up pattern. And you'll hear me call that if you watch any of my videos.
A lot of them.
Yeah, that's a lot of strum patterns, or a lot of songs have this strum pattern in it. It's the bass down, up. And that D gets 2 of those patterns there. So from the top, we have... And as a beginner, you might want to just go ahead and substitute just down strums instead of those bass note down strums. It sounds fine either way. If you're enjoying these classic rock songs, I've got 3 more classic rock songs in my free song lesson bundle. It includes the tablature, the chord charts, and we've got some Bob Dylan in there, some Van Morrison, and some others. So definitely check that out, for that free resource out in the link below. So for that intro, we're going to use that intro after that's finished into the first verse. It's the same chord progression. If you're further along, when I'm talking about these bass or root notes, for this D chord, it's the 4th string. For this A chord, it's the 5th string. And for the G chord, it's the 6th string. And you can substitute in those if you like. I'll do it without them first. Or if you like, you can do this. Just kind of play where you're most comfortable at. So for the chorus, we're going to use that Old Faithful strum pattern for all the chords in the chorus. The progression changes up a little bit, but again, if you've get this down, do that over and over to annoy everyone around you. And it helps with kind of muscle memory and getting that down. The chorus is 2 of those strum patterns on a G, then 2 of those strum patterns on a D, then 1 strum pattern on an A, 1 strum pattern on a G, and then 2 strum patterns on a D. So I'm going to play this one through, follow along with me. Here on the screen, magic will happen.
Yeah.
And there will be, I'll show the chords and the patterns. So here we go from the top with the intro. I, C, A, G, D with that faithful pattern. Throw in those bass notes if you like. I see bad times today. To the chorus, that G twice, D twice, 1A, 1G, 2 Ds. Again, D 2 times, A 1 time, G 1 time, D 2 times. If you like this lesson so far and you're getting something out of it, please click that like button. We would really appreciate it. Next up, we've got a little Tom Petty, one of my all-time favorite artists. This is Free Falling. You might notice we're using a capo on the 3rd fret of the guitar, so make sure you're doing that if you want to play along with me or along with the record. And if you need a lesson on how to use a capo, you can check out this lesson next when you're finished here. And the chords for this one, guess what? Same as Bad Moon Rising. They just sound a little different because we're using the capo. But we have that D chord again. We have that A chord. Or we have the G chord. We do add a 4th chord on this song because we're going to be playing a D suspended 4 chord. That is a mouthful to basically explain playing this D chord and then putting your pinky down onto that 1st string 3rd fret. And that's all relative to this capo when I talk about these chords now. So here's a D chord, D suspended 4. Is pinky down on the 1st string of the 3rd fret. I'm just going to call that chord 4, the number 4, during this lesson, just for more simplicity. It gets to be a little tongue-tied, or I do, when I say the entire name of that chord. So for this one, we're going to start, I'll just do the intro first. These are all just 1 down strum. I mean, that is so recognizable.
Yes, it is.
It takes me back. So we have a D chord with 1 strum down. Then put that pinky down for that D suspended 4 or the 4 chord. And then you do that once again. Take your pinky back off for the D chord and end on an A. It's the She's a Good Girl part, so you can follow along here on the screen. She loves horses and her boyfriend too. I love Tom Petty's lyrics. Then we get into the strumming part. Don't let that intimidate you. I'm doing a lot of strumming. If you notice my hand, I've got a lesson for you next here. Definitely check this one out. It's continuous strumming and how that will help your rhythm and timing. Because one thing you can do here, and actually I'll say start here for this one, those same 4 chords in that same progression, we're just going to do down, up. We're not going to stop strumming down and up on these chords. If you're a beginner, start there. It still sounds pretty good, and when you play along with the record, it's kind of like being in the band. So same chord progression. Now what we're going to do with this is we're going to remove some of those down and up strums to make this pattern. We'll start there. So you start with that D, it gets one down strum, then an up, down, up, then a down with your pinky back down to that 4 chord, then another up, down, up, down, up. I'll slow this one down, and I think it'll help more if I just stop talking and I'll strum it, and you can follow here on the screen. So we have and see if you look there, we're just removing some down and ups instead of doing that continuous down up. But when you remove these strums, you just continue moving your hand. You're just not hitting the strings. So you go from this, or we'll go this way. When we remove some of these strums, we get this for the first part. But if you watch my hand, it doesn't stop strumming up and down. And so for the second part of this chord progression, we're going to start on that D4 chord, just calling it 4. We're going to do a down strum, lift up your pinky, and a quick down strum on a D, quick down strum on an A, and then hang on that A for the up, down, up, down, up. And again, I'll play it here and just watch the screen here. D, 4, 4, D, A. And then for the chorus of this one, it's very similar. We're going to substitute in that G chord where we were playing before the 4 chord. So like this. And when we sub in that G, I like using the 4-finger G shape. It just makes it sound a little more full, a little easier to move around. So we have the D, G, G, D, A. And that's the chorus. And then we have some Steve Miller Band, The Joker, classic 70s rock,
Yeah.
iconic opening. So let's start there, just because it's a blast to play. So this is all taking place on our lower strings, strings 6, 5, and 4, and just 2 fingers. I was just double checking to make it, because I'm like, is this just 2 fingers to play this lick? It is. So think of kind of a G chord shape as we're playing this lick, because these notes fit underneath that G chord shape. So we're starting here on the 6th string, 3rd fret for 2. Then we're going to pluck the 5th string open, and then hammer down. Hammer down is when you have the string ringing out open and then you hammer your finger down onto it. So you're going to hammer down with your index finger onto the 2nd fret of that 5th string. And then 2 more 3s on the 5th string, 3rd fret there. We're using my middle finger. So from the top, sorry. We're going to do the same theme here. Pluck the 4th string open and hammer down onto the 2nd fret with your index finger. And then 2 opens there. Then the last part of the lick all takes place here on the 5th string. And we're going to get some alternate picking in here. Alternate picking is when you're alternating your pick up and down in the motion instead of all down. A lot of the time when we play, or when I play, I'm just, plucking down on the strings. We're alternating down ups here. So we have open 5th string, 2nd fret, and then da 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 da. So that's 5, down, up, down, back down to the 2nd fret to the open. Then that repeats. So from the top, and if you like, you can do a little palm muting here. Put the fat part of your hand right here onto your strings. Sounds a little more subdued, but a little cooler in my opinion. And then for the rest of the song, 3 open chords, and you might recognize some of these. Hint, hint. G chord, a D chord, and we are throwing in a new chord here in this lesson. It's a C chord. So G, C, and D. For this verse, we're doing this progression of G, C, D, C, over and over. The pattern we're using for the verses is a down, 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 up, down, up. Down, 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 up, down, up. If you're counting it, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This one is a blast to play along with the record. If you're doing that, just got to note the record is tuned a half step down. I'm playing in standard tuning right now if you're playing along with me, just for simplicity. But if you're going to play on with the record, you'll need to know that.
Is that one strum pattern?
Yeah, down, 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 up, down, up. Each chord gets one.
Okay.
Oh, is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Yeah, each chord gets one pattern. Then we get to the chorus. I'm a picker, I'm a grinner. It just brings a smile to my face. So we are going to change the strum pattern for this one slightly. We're going to stick to just a down up 8th note pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down up, down up, down up, down up. We have the we're alternating G's and C's. I'm a picker, I'm a C, I'm a G, I'm a C, G, play my C in the D, and C. And that progression just starts over again. So I'll play this one, I'll play a little bit of the verse and the chorus so you can see and hear how it fits together. Remember, for this verse, we're going to be doing the down, 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 up, down, up. One of those strum patterns per chord. So we have that G, C, D, and C. Some C call me the space cowboy. Yeah. G. Some see me the gangster of D. C, G. Some C call me D, C. Cause I G the C of D. Into the chorus, I'm a G, I'm a C, I'm a G, and I'm a C. G, C, D, C, and I'm a G, and I'm a C, I'm a G, I'm a C. G, C on the D. He hangs on that D here at the end. Do 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 do. And then to that little lick there as well. Add those to your set list. Stick with it. Go slow at first and work up your speed later. Vicky and Maggie and I very much appreciate your views and your support here on YouTube. We're having a blast with it. Next for you, check out these 4 rock songs that are also perfect for those beginners over 40, and enjoy those. And we'll see you for the next lesson. Remember that you're never too old to learn.
Take care.